All right, guys, welcome to your first e-learning lesson. Today we're going to be focusing on integers, okay? Last week we talked about integers and how they are positive and negative counting numbers. We are also going to be adding and subtracting and multiplying them and dividing some rational numbers. So that means decimals, fractions, and so forth, okay? So let's first refresh ourselves on some fractions. All right, so when you're adding and subtracting fractions, because it says find the sum or difference, you first have to have a common denominator. If they don't have a common denominator, then you cannot add and subtract them. So looking at this one, 4/5 plus 2/3. 5 and 3 down here, a common denominator would be 15. So that means I'm going to have to multiply this fraction by 3, because 3 times 5 makes 15. And I'm going to have to multiply this fraction by 5, because 3 times 5 makes 15. So that would become 3 times 4, that's 12 over 15. 2 times 5, that's 10 over 15. And then you can go ahead and add together the numerators, the tops. So 12 plus 10, that's 22 over 15. I am okay with that, or you can reduce it or make it a mixed number instead of reducing it, because this one does not reduce any. So if you make that 1 and 7/15, that's okay. But I do not want you to rely on your calculator to do these. You need to do them with work shown like I'm showing you here. All right, the second one, 7/9 minus 1/3. Common denominator of 9 and 3 is 9. This one's already a 9, so I don't need to change it. But this one's a 3, so what do I multiply 3 by to make 9? 3. So that's 7/9 minus 1 times 3, that's 3. 3 times 3, that's 9, and now I can subtract them because they both have a common denominator of 9. So 7/9 minus 3/9, 7 minus 3, that's 4, so that's 4/9. And that doesn't reduce, so it's done. All right, number 3. I personally have found that if I make mixed numbers into a improper fraction, it's a lot easier to add and subtract them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. A lot of people call it the check mark. So what they do is, this is 3 1/2. I know it looks a little small. Okay, I think it's right. So I do 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So that's 7/2 minus 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5, so that's 5/3. Now I can go ahead and make a common denominator. If I didn't do this, you could still leave it and subtract it, but you're going to have to borrow. And borrowing sometimes is hard to understand, so when you make the mixed numbers into an improper fraction, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to borrow then. So what would be the common denominator between 2 and 3? 6. So I'm going to multiply this one by 3, because 3 times 2 makes 6. And I'm going to multiply this one by 3, because 2 times 3 makes 6. So 2 times 7, that's 14 over 6, minus 5 times 2, that's 10 over 6, and now I can subtract. So 14 minus 10, that's 4/6. Does 4/6 reduce? It does. It reduces to 2/3. Oh, Miss Wilson just made a mistake. Look what I did. I multiplied this one by 3 and this one by 2. I knew I made a mistake. I caught myself. So I should have multiplied by 3 here. So 3 times 7, that's 21/6. My bad. So 21 minus 10, that's 11/6. We all make mistakes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the lesson for today. So this is 1.5, adding and subtracting real numbers. So that's why it says real numbers, because it could be decimals, it could be fractions, it could be mixed numbers, it could be whole numbers. We don't know, positives and negatives. All right. If you are somebody that is struggling with adding and subtracting these, I highly suggest that you make a number line and you can count. If you're adding a number that's positive, you move to the right. If you're subtracting a number, you move to the left. All right. But I do want you to do these without a calculator. No calculator. Do it without. Because when you all come back, we'll do a little quiz with no calculator. All right, so it says, what is each sum? So remember, sum means addition, okay? All right, so it says 3 plus 5. We're going to start off easy. 3 plus 5 is 8. Also, if you're a number line person, you're 3 and you're adding 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puts me at 8. All right, 3 plus negative 5. So when I add a negative number, it's still a negative number, so I would move to the left. So 3 plus negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, puts us at negative 2. Negative 3 plus 5. You're starting at negative 3 and you're adding positive 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2. Negative 3 plus negative 5. Here's negative 3. I'm going to add negative 5, so I'm going to go to the left because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that puts me at negative 8. All right, let me give you a minute. You can pause me, try these 3, and then unpause me. All right, so negative 8 plus 4, that's negative 4. Think about it. If you're at negative 8 and you add positive 4 to it, you get to negative 4. Negative 2 plus negative 7. You start at negative 2 and you add negative 7, you're at negative 9. 6 plus negative 3, you're at positive 6, but you add negative 3, so you go to the left and you get positive 3. There is a little saying to help people remember this. If it's same sign, you add and keep. So like negative 3 plus negative 2, they're both negative, so when you add the numbers together, you keep the negative sign. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Since they're both negative, it's negative 5. Different sign, you subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. So 5 plus negative 7. They're different signs, so you'll subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 7's bigger, so it's negative 7, so I keep the negative on the 2. If you don't like that, you can still use the number line. If you already know how to do these, you're great with these in your head, keep doing them in your head, it's fine. All right, so it says, what is each sum? So this one I'm going to use the rhyme just to get you all a little bit more familiar with it if you're struggling. Negative 12 plus 7, they're different signs, so I subtract. So 12 minus 7 is 5. 12's bigger, so I'll keep the negative, so it's negative 5. A little glare right there. All right, negative 18 plus negative 2. Same sign, add and keep. So 18 plus 2 is 20. They're both negative, so I'll keep it to be negative 20. Ooh, negative 4.8 plus 9.5. So here's one of those rational numbers that they're adding. They're decimals, okay? I don't want you to use your calculator. So they're different signs, which means I'm going to have to subtract them. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to take 9.5 minus 4.8. Okay, so that's like 95 minus 48. It's just got that decimal that we're going to have there, okay? All right, so 5 minus 8, I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow from the 9. So I'm going to mark out the 9. That will become an 8, and the 5 will become a 15. So 15 minus 8 is 7. 8 minus 4 is 4. All right, so they were different signs, so that's why I subtracted. Keep the sign of the larger number. So 4.7. The bigger number is 9.5. It's positive, so it's positive 4.7. Ooh, fractions. So we just did on our bell work that the fractions, I have to have a common denominator. So let's look at the denominator here. 4 and 6. Common denominator would be 12. You could make it 24, but you have to reduce it at the end. So that's why I'm just going to go with 12. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, 4 times 3 makes 12. 6 times 2 makes 12. So that will be 9 twelfths. And I'm writing 16. Miss Wilson's losing her mind. 9 twelfths plus negative 5 times 2, that's negative 10 twelfths. Now, you're just going to add the numerators. Just add the top. So 9 plus negative 10. 9 plus negative 10, that's negative 1 12th. And that would be it. All right, I'm going to put a couple up there for you all to try. And then we'll keep moving. So go ahead and pause me, try these two, and then we'll go back over them. All right, so negative 16 plus negative 8. They're same sign, so I'm going to add them together. So 16 plus 8 is 24. Same sign, add and keep the sign. So negative 24. Negative 11 plus 9. They're different signs, subtract. 11 minus 9 is 2. Keep the sign of the larger number. 11's bigger, it's negative, so it's negative 2. All right, you all try this one. Let's do negative 2.2 plus negative 3.4. Pause me and do it. All right, so they're same sign, so I add the numbers together and I keep the sign. So I'm going to do 2.2 plus 3.4. So 2 plus 4, that's 6. 2 plus 3, that's 5. And they're both negative, so I keep it to be negative 5.6. All right, try this one. Let's do negative 3/4 plus 1/2. So pause me and work that one out. All right, so you should have made a common denominator of 4. So I'm going to multiply this by 2. This one's already 4. So that'll be negative 3/4 plus 1 times 2, that's 2/4. And then I can add the top. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1/4. All right, we're going to move on to some subtracting. Now, right here is the thing that is so important. Up here it says a minus sign is sometimes written as a minus, sometimes it's written as plus and negative. Those are both still subtraction. But right here, minus a negative becomes plus a positive. So if you're subtracting something that's already negative, that becomes a positive number, a plus. So 5 minus negative 3 becomes 5 plus 3. All right, so it says, what is each difference? So difference is subtraction, okay? So negative 8 minus negative 13. Whenever you have minus a negative, you need to remember, okay, minus a negative changes that to become plus a positive. So that becomes negative 8 plus 13. And then you can use your rhyme if you're using the rhyme. If you know it, and keep going. But they're different signs, so I'm going to subtract. So 13 minus 8, that's 5. 13 is bigger, so it's positive 5. All right, 3.5 minus 12.4. Okay, they're different signs. This is a positive 3.5. This is a negative 12.4. So I'm going to subtract here. Okay, I'm going to give myself some room over here. So I'm going to do 12.4 minus 3.5. Okay, so I can't do 4 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow from that 2. So that'll become a 1. That'll become a 14. So 14 minus 5, that's 9. Put my decimal a little bit bigger there. And 11 minus 3, that's 8. So 8.9. But the 12.4 is bigger and it's negative, so this is negative 8.9. And like I said, you can use your calculator to check yourself, but you need to do these without a calculator. All right, 9 minus 9. What's 9 minus 9? 0. And then 5 minus 12. 5 minus 12, it's different signs. I'm at 5 and I'm taking away 12. So 12 minus 5 is 7. 12 is bigger, so it's negative 7. All right, you try these 3, pause me, and then unpause me after you try them. All right, so you should have looked at negative 6 minus negative 12. Minus a negative is plus a positive, so that's negative 6 plus 12, which is 6, positive 6. 2.1 minus 9.6. You should have subtracted, because this is positive 2.1 and negative 9.6. So 9.6 minus 2.1. 6 minus 1 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9.6 is bigger and it's negative, so it's negative 7.5. 14 minus 28, different sign, subtract. So 28 minus 14 is 14. Keep the sign of the larger number, then I'll be exact. So 28 is bigger than 14, and it's got a minus in front of it, so it's negative 14. So these are just going to come with a lot of practice. Please don't use your calculator. Do them all by yourself, and then go back and check them with your calculator. With your homework on this, I want you to do them, once again, all without a calculator. Find a different color pen or pencil or marker, crayon, whatever, and go back and check them with a calculator. Circle the ones that you got wrong with that different color and then fix it so that I know that what parts you understand, which parts you don't understand, okay? You're not going to get penalized for having different colors on there, okay? All right, so this will be your homework. Page 34, 12, 14, 16, 20, 22, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 38, and 40. Once again, it says up here, do without a calculator, go back and check it. Show work on your fractions. I do not want you to use your calculator on your fractions either unless it's just to help you find a common denominator. All right. Make sure you take a picture of it, upload it on this assignment, and you're good to go. Adios.